Cheers, friends!
Hey there.
Welcome to Walt Disney World's Magic Kingdom.
New Year's Eve.
Welcome to the most magical way to kick off the new year. Now in this video, we'll show you 5 useful tips that we learned that will help you on any busy Disney day. We tried some new tasty gluten-free treats. Of course, we're going to cover the crowds, the wait times, and how to unlock the magic that is New Year's Eve at Walt Disney World's Magic Kingdom during one of the busiest times of the year. Here's the first key tip to unlocking the Disney fun during all the chaos. Arrive early and stay late, or rope drop the fireworks as some say. With the New Year's Eve buzz, or the buzz of any busy Disney day, everything is going to take longer. So to make the most of your time in the park, maximize your time in the park. And to really do that, opt to stay inside Disney World, either at a Disney resort or one of the select Good Neighbor hotels that comes with the early access perk. This perk will allow you to enter into the parks 30 minutes before they open. And for the ultimate experience, and if it's within your budget, book a room along the Magic Kingdom's monorail route. This not only gets you early access, but also allows you to easily duck out of the park, take a quick break, or a quick change of clothes. During the winter time, it does get cold here and you might want to grab an extra layer. And then during the summer, when the humidity is as high as the sun, you might want to go back to the room to freshen up a bit or jump in the pool while you wait for the next lightning lane. On our trip, we stayed at a Good Neighbor hotel, the Hilton, right next to Disney Springs.
So the Hilton is one of the Disney Good Neighbor partners. And so it does give you early access into the parks. At check-in, just ask about it and they'll give you one of these cards, which will get you into the parks a half hour early. Or you can add your confirmation number into your My Disney experience and that should add it to your tickets. And the magic of Christmas is still alive here at Disney World.
Disney does open their gates before the official park opening. This lets people in to do a little pre-shopping, but park goers won't be allowed to go past the castle until after the official park opening. So head towards the castle and look for the signs for early access. They'll direct you to cast members who will scan your ticket again or review the card you got from the hotel and then let you into the rest of the park.
We did add our Hilton stay into our My Disney Experience app, but it's a good thing we brought the cards from the hotel to say we're staying there. I don't know if this had a problem scanning the phone because I was using the wallet on the Android app.
And to help you follow along with our day, we'll post the times of the recordings at the bottom of the video and show you the ride wait times throughout the day.
Indoors Mine Train is an 85-minute walk. The park's not even open yet.
The park isn't even open yet.
Now wait, before we get too far into the park, we need to go back to the front of the park for our next tip. This is for those of us not fortunate enough to book a room on the Magic Kingdom's monorail route, or didn't come with a stroller that we can use to hold our things. The second key thing we learned about on this trip are the Disney lockers. These are typically located at the front of the parks right after they scan your tickets. At Magic Kingdom, they're on the right side next to the stroller and scooter rental. We knew it was going to get cold once the sun went down, so we bought a few extra layers, but we didn't want to carry them around all day. And these lockers came in clutch. The locker is yours for the whole day, so you can come back to it as often as you like, get clothes, drop off clothes or souvenirs or anything else you bought you just don't want to carry around with you. But wait. Actually, to get to our third key tip, we have to go back to before we even got to Disney World. After you book your hotel, make sure that everybody that's coming with you has a profile set up in the My Disney Experience app, and that they all show up in your friends and family list. This is critical to our next key tip, getting up early the day of the park visit to grab your virtual queues and your lightning lanes. For Disney's most popular attractions, they use a virtual queue in place of a normal standby line. This is not a lightning lane. It's just a way to keep attractions from getting overcrowded. They typically open the virtual queues at 7 a.m. and 1 p.m. In your My Disney Experience app, go to the virtual queue section and click on Join a Queue. If you get in fast enough, you'll be assigned a boarding group number. Check the virtual queue section throughout the day to get an update on which group is being called, and when your group is called, head to the ride and follow the signs. Disney is always updating their systems, so do a little research to find out what rides are available and how the system is working before you go. And once you've grabbed your virtual queues, you'll also want to get started with Genie Plus. Sadly, we feel this really is a must on busy days if you're a ride enthusiast. This is an additional charge to your theme park ticket, but gets you on the rides much faster through the Lightning Lane entrance. To get a virtual queue is included with the price of admission. Disney Plus is another system that Disney is always updating, so again, do a little bit of research to know before you go. On this visit, we can start selecting Lightning Lanes at 7 a.m., and the first one we grabbed is one of our favorite rides, the Haunted Mansion, at 8:50. Okay, I think we're all caught up now. Our next key tip, now that we're inside the park, is to embrace what might be called filler rides. Rides that aren't as popular and maybe things you've never done before. We were a little late getting into early access, but it didn't take long for Seven Dwarfs Mine Train to reach over an hour wait, even before the park was open. Since the mine train was already backed up, our first ride of the day was Little Mermaid. Since there was no wait, we walked right on. So throughout the day, it'll be a lot easier to duck into rides and attractions that have a lower wait, or maybe even no wait at all, while you're waiting for your lightning lanes to come up. Also, it's important to know that not every ride will be open during early access.
Now, if you really want to make sure you get a hot and fresh cinnamon roll, rope dropping Gaston's Tavern is the best way to do it. This is my first cinnamon roll. These things are huge. I mean, yeah, like huge. Doesn't look like a lot of icing on top, but basically that's all in there. Just gotta redistribute it. The cinnamon roll itself is actually really good. It is very fresh. But there is just so much icing in here. It's just sugar overload. Like, obviously you want to share this with somebody. I would just say it's kind of for me. Too sweet.
Now, after the cinnamon roll at Gaston's Tavern, we did hit up Small World because it was a walk-on and we had some time before our first lightning lane, but we will spare you that earworm.
All right, it's 8:50. We're scanning in for our first lightning lane at the Haunted Mansion. The standby wait is 50 minutes. Alright, now we're scanned in and we can book our next lightning lane.
At Disney, some of the rides have a little pre-show, like the Haunted Mansion stretching room. That raises the question, do you stop the queue timer at the show or when you're in the ride vehicle? Let me know your thoughts below.
So you can scan into your lightning lanes about 5 minutes ahead of time, and they're good.
And after we scanned in for Pirates of the Caribbean, we're able to make our next lightning lane selection. And the next ride we really wanted to get on was Jingle Cruise, the holiday version of the Jungle Cruise. And the lightning lanes for the popular attractions were already starting to fill out late into the afternoon. With Genie Plus in Orlando, Florida, you're able to modify your selections. Now, people change their plans throughout the day for whatever reason, and they'll cancel their lightning lanes when those slots become available, so it's worth checking quite often if you have one that's further out. In addition to be able to select a new lightning lane once you've scanned in for the current one, you're able to make a lightning lane selection if you waited 2 hours since the previous selection. This can allow you to have multiple lightning lane appointments at one time. And modifying your lightning lane does not reset the timer on the selection. So the selection timer is still ticking from the time you made your first selection. So some people recommend that when you have the option to grab a lightning lane, just grab the first one to start the timer, and then go back in and modify it to take your time browsing through the available lightning lanes to find the one you really want.
So we're at the shop at the exit to Pirates of the Caribbean, and we found these generic gloves and hats and blankets. So the hats are $12, the gloves are $10, and the blankets were $25. That's actually pretty decent for being inside the park.
And since we're over where Adventureland meets Frontierland, that brings us to our next key tip, bathrooms. On busy days when you have to go, the lines for the bathrooms can seem just as long as they are for the Seven Dwarfs Mine Train. Luckily, there are a few of them that are hidden away that most people overlook, like this one that's just past Pirates of the Caribbean. In Tomorrowland, there's one to the right of Space Mountain, just behind the Joffrey's coffee stand. And in the main hub, there is one outside Tomorrowland Terrace, but there's a secret one inside Tomorrowland Terrace. On our visit, they were preparing for a special event, but when it's open serving food, there's one way back here.
Chano's Bayou Adventure is looking pretty snazzy. I like all the flowers and greenery they've added to the top of the mountain. Big Thunder's an hour wait.
Now the candy bacon on a stick is a staple of ours every time we walk through Frontierland. It's sweet, it's savory, and it gets you through to lunchtime. The Country Bear Jamboree is an attraction we've never visited yet. It's going to be going into refurbishment pretty soon, but wow, the songs were pretty sad and depressing, clearly from an age of country music that has long gone by.
Yeah, we ain't going anywhere anyhow. We're kind of hung up here. If you
think you should shoot him instead. Bite!
Well, there he goes, he hardly knows the heart he's breaking.
Love me. Running 90 miles an hour, take a 30 feet down. Ain't never been cornered, ain't never been treated. Some folks say he looks a lot like me.
Did you know that, honey, that the whole menu was gluten-free?
I did. I'm excited about that.
The Brazilian cheese bites are a gooey, fluffy morsel of bread, or cheese, or something in between. They're very light like bread, but chewy like a cheese. And they pair perfectly with the cream cheese chimichurri and parsley and garlic sauces. The taste like chicken, because it is, tastes like, chicken. And a decent fried chicken at that. It was moist, but not a whole lot of seasoning going on. The star of the dish is the sweet chili glaze, and don't let the chili fool you, it is not spicy. It was a good portion size. The batter is not thick at all, but still crispy. And the seasoned rice and the veggies just balance the whole thing out. Disney celebrates the holidays beyond Christmas. It goes into January. So if you're coming for New Year's Eve, you'll still get to see the holiday parade, the special stage shows, the tasty treats, and experience the special holiday ride overlays.
Disney's Carousel of Progress. You're in for a real treat.
45 minutes for Astro Orbiter.
In addition to ride wait times, food wait times can also be a concern during busy days, but that never seemed to be really an issue with the mobile ordering system while we were there. At 11:30, we were able to grab another lightning lane. We just grabbed the first one, which happened to be the Mad Hatter's Tea Party, with the hopes of being able to modify it for something a little different, and that didn't happen.
Jingle Cruise is 80 minutes.
Now, welcome aboard the world-famous Jingle Cruise. My name is Skipper Anna. I will be your skipper, your tree trimmer, your popcorn stringer, and your ho-ho-host for about as far as we get.
The Jingle Cruise was great. Our skipper, Anna, great jokes, great inflection and tone, perfect timing, a great trip. I'm glad we made it back to the dock.
And then right around 3 o'clock, it was our turn to get in line for Tron. And again, I cannot stress enough that a virtual queue is not a lightning lane. It is just crowd control. It is now your turn to get into the standby line. This was the longest line we waited in all day. And now it was time for dinner. One of the best gluten-free pizzas we found at the parks is at Pinocchio's. Unfortunately, a lot of the gluten-free items are not available through the mobile ordering system. Just tell a cast member as you're walking up that you have a food allergy and they will direct you to the right person.
Not very often am I able to get hot chicken fingers, especially fast food or in a theme park. We were able to order chicken fingers gluten-free along with gluten-free French fries, and then we added a gluten-free flatbread. Everything was tasty, but I really enjoyed the chicken fingers. They were super moist, they were hot, they were crispy. The only thing I was missing was a little bit of ranch, but they were delicious.
The Magic Kingdom celebrates New Year's Eve on 2 days, December 30th and 31st. And both those days, they have 2 showings of the Countdown Fireworks, at 6:30 for those with an early bedtime, and of course, leading up to midnight. Now, New Year's Eve at the Magic Kingdom is not a special ticketed event. You just need a regular day pass. And it pretty much feels like a regular day until those 6:30 fireworks kick off. And then the dance parties drop and the beats they play throughout the park keep the party vibe alive.
Autotopia still has its Christmas overlay. We're going to check that out. It's supposed to be a 20-minute standby wait.
Autotopia is Disneyland. It's this Tomorrowland Speedway, I think is what it's called here.
The Tomorrowland Speedway has a 20-minute wait, but it still has the Christmas overlay, so it's worth it. Probably the only time I ever ride this.
Once the party started, we kind of forgot about the My Disney Experience app. We had 2 lightning lanes left, Buzz Lightyear and Space Mountain. We caught a little bit of the last Christmas show of the night. And even enjoyed some of the magic snow on Main Street. In between, we enjoyed the dance parties. They were a lot of fun. They had some great remixes of popular Disney songs. There are 3 dance parties going on. The biggest and probably the best is in front of the castle. There's one in Frontierland. And one in Tomorrowland by Space Mountain.
Made on the Space Mountain, probably our last lightning lane for the night. And then we're going to check out the fireworks.
We grabbed this footage earlier when we were on the People Mover. With the light from the Christmas overlay, you can actually see the Space Mountain track. With the music and the lights, it really makes it a whole nother ride. Some people probably never left their spot after the Christmas show and have been camping out in front of the castle ever since for the New Year's fireworks. We got back to the hub about 9:40 and all the decent seats were gone, all the close primary spots were taken. It was still a good 2 hours before fireworks. We found a good spot a little further back, and here's a little montage of how the crowds filled in as the night went on. And here's a little bonus tip. When you're saving a spot for a parade or fireworks on a cold night, those plastic serving trays are great for insulating you from the cold concrete.
Once again, our New Year's Eve Fantasy in the Sky Fireworks Spectacular will begin in just a few minutes.
A long time ago, in a place called Neverland, there lived a sparkling spirit named Tinkerbell. Legend has it that to this day she still flies over this magical land of fantasy. And the story is told for children of all ages that if you wish hard enough and believe strong enough, Tinkerbell will soar high above the magic kingdom and light our fantasy in the sky.
I had the best time ringing in the new year at Disney, and I would absolutely do it again.
New Year's Eve at the Magic Kingdom is absolutely magical when you do it the right way.
When we decided to go to Disney World for New Year's Eve, we knew the crowds were going to be higher than usual,
And we love the expectation of being able to do everything we wanted at home.
And on a day like today, you need Genie Plus. Genie Plus is like having your own magic wand.
Use the lightning lanes to save your spot for the popular rides and hit the less popular attractions to fill the time in between.
We were even able to enjoy a couple of sit-down dining experiences. And while you're eating, it's like you're multitasking, waiting for your next Genie Plus ride. It was already a cold day, but once the sun set, it got even colder. And when I say cold, there was a family from Michigan complaining about how cold it was on the bus ride back to the hotel.
And once the fireworks pop off at 6:30, then the party vibe comes alive and keeps the energy going for the rest of the night.
The DJs came out, the strobe lights turned on, the music changed, and it turned into Club Disney.
We hope you found this video to be helpful if you're planning to go to Disney on one of the more crowded days, or if you're planning a New Year's trip of your own. As always, we really appreciate all the friends that we've made here on YouTube and your continued support. We love hearing your thoughts and try to answer your questions in the comments below. So until next time, friends, cheers!